Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game. I'm David, and today we're going to talk about how to defeat Doc Ock in Marvel United. Now, Doc Ock, he's kind of a pushover, really. He's not the same scary that he is in Spider-Man lore. Uh, but, that being said, if you take him too lightly, he is going to cause you problems. For 2 players, 3 health, 3 players, 6 health, 4 players, 8 health. Special rules: when a location has 3 crisis tokens, it is destroyed. Remove it from play. If Doc Ock's there, he moves clockwise. Any heroes there move to an adjacent location of their choice. Locations adjacent to a destroyed one are considered adjacent, so you just keep the circle going. It's smaller. On a BAM, you deal 1 damage to each hero in Doc Ock's location and place a crisis token there. So that's how we're getting crisis tokens. On overflow, if 1 or more civilian slugs can't be added, we add a crisis token there. And villainous plot, the heroes lose if 4 or more locations are destroyed. So, a few ways Doc Ock's going to win. Let's look at his cards. He is only bamming on 7 of his 12 cards. But that's not 100% because he does have these Tentacles Grasp cards. And there he moves all heroes 1 location closer to Doc Ock, and then he bams. So really it's 9 bams. So it's basically, it's 75% of his cards. He's bamming a lot. He's going to put out a fair bit of crisis tokens. But still, to destroy 4 locations, it's going to take 3 additional BAMs. And that's if he does it perfectly. Really, the threat of Doc Ock comes down to if you don't heal, if you get a lot of KOs, that's where the big problems lie. So, card-wise, nothing really stands out. We should talk about Master Planner here. They're both move 3s. They're not BAMs, but you deal 1 damage to each hero in any locations with any crisis tokens. Then you put a crisis token in his location. So he is putting out more crisis tokens. These damages can make the difference. They can trigger more BAMs on the KOs. If everything goes wrong, he can get every character. It just kind of depends. Are you getting these early or are you getting them late? There's a little bit of luck associated with that in this game. Aside from that, though, he's not really pushing the envelope on overflow. basically 5s on everything, and they're spread out 2, 1, 2. 1 where he's at, 2 on the adjacents. And he's moving around a fair bit. The 0, he doesn't put anything out, so that's going to help you, believe it or not. What hurts are his threat cards. So he's got 3 copies of these endangered civilians, and each civilian in this location requires an extra heroic to be rescued. Spend that time, clear the threats off. That's my recommendation. Take those out. Sandman looks like something you'd want to deal with, right? Sandman gains 1 health, deal 1 damage to each hero in this location. But my recommendation is ignore Sandman completely. It's a trap. Too much health, too many punches to dedicate to that. Sandman, just don't go there. Don't end on his spot. Just ignore him. Vulture, on the other hand, deal 1 damage to 1 hero in this location. Then move this card to the first clockwise location without a threat if possible. Vulture's going to move around. Should you take him out? Yeah, you can. Or you can just kind of let him fly around. Up to you. Mysterio, though. Mysterio you have to deal with. Because Mysterio is dealing 1 damage to 1 hero in this location, which is fine. You can ignore that if you avoid his spot. But he's adding a civilian and a thug to this location 9 out of 12 cards, 75% of the time. That BAM, that extra overflow triggers will cause his location to be destroyed. Guaranteed. There's no question about that. So, you need to deal with Mysterio. And Mysterio is easy to take out if you spend 3 punches to take him off the board. He's an easy threat to clear, and he's worth it because he's going to save you from a destroyed location. See, the others, whatever. You can kind of ignore them. Vulture, Sandman, I say let them go. But take Mysterio out, take your endangered civilians out, and then spend the rest of your energy clearing thugs, and you've got it. That's how you take out Doc Ock. There's no real sense in trying to chase everything else down, spending a bunch of punches that you need for taking Doc Ock out on Sandman. That's not the purpose here. I wouldn't even take a location that lets you remove crisis tokens. I don't think it's worth it. I think you just have to move quickly here and bring some healing. I think this is a time, if you want, you could bring Wolverine, Beast. Those characters heal. They've got the healing factor cards. You can bring locations that let you heal. The one that's like, if there's a character in your location or an adjacent location let you heal. I think that was a starter set. Might be an X-Men card. But cards like that are great. There's always the cards that let you, like, if you have less than 3 cards draw up, that's a core set card. So you can bring that. But this is one, Doc Ock does not need the best of the best. As long as you're not trying to run like the Howard Spider-Ham combo, you're going to have enough to put Doc Ock to bed. And I'm not trying to completely trivialize Doc Ock because he is a fight. If you get too lackadaisical about him, he will take you out. But you just got to play a solid game, and Doc Ock is somebody that should be able to be defeated. I think where you're liable to run into trouble, where I've run into trouble before, is not getting Mysterio off the board, trying to focus on Sandman. It's going after the wrong threats. If you get trapped in this idea of, well, Sandman's on this really good location, I need this location. No, you just got to write it off. You got to play a different game. You have to pivot. And if you don't make that pivot, you're going to be in trouble. If you get stuck in this game playing to a certain location, that's where you wind up in trouble, because you have to be able to play the game to have no end of turn effects. If you can play the solid game that way, you're going to be okay. But yeah, I'd say Doc Ock's one, try new characters out, and I think you're going to be okay. That's my recommendation. So, all right. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate your time. And until next week, keep brushing up your game. Take care.